The past, the present, the future. This is Friday Night's Fright. What the planet is listening to.
Hello! Welcome Friday Night Fright ShudderMania 2019 day. I don't even know what day it is. I'm recording this on Monday and it airs on Thursday, so I guess day 8 or something like that, day 9, I don't know, fucking know. Anyway, something like that. Today's movie is The Changeling, directed by Peter Meadock. 5 out of 5 on Shudder, wow, 106 minutes long, 1980 and in English. Consumed by grief, a New York composer moves to a secluded Victorian mansion, full stop. There he finds himself haunted by a paranormal entity that may unleash an even more disturbing secret, full stop. Peter Meadock's acclaimed and celebrated The Changeling is quite simply, one great haunted house movies, full stop. Cast: George C. Scott, Trish Van Devere, Mervyn Douglas. I know who George Scott is. I should add at this point that this movie was already done on Last Driving or whatever it's called on Shudder, you know. Whatever, I'm doing this movie anyway, so if you don't want to listen to this one because you already watched The Last Driving, fantastic, whatever. If you want to listen to me ramble about it, brilliant, magical. But anyway, I'll be back after a short word from our sponsor. And I'm back, and I've just seen Changeling, which was listed at... What number was listed at? I saw a podcast, someone linked on Letterboxd. The top 100 horror movies of all time, and Changeling was... Where was it? 79, something like that. Yeah, and would I rank it that highly? That's a very good question. I'm not sure. I've seen over 100 horror movies and I'd rank it above a fair few of them, but I don't know if I'd put 79th. Anyway, enough about that crap. What do I think about the movie? I thought it was definitely a movie. That's a one-up on most Shudder movies I've watched recently, which are movies in a loosest possible categorization. The Changeling. What can you say about this movie? It's a acting masterclass by George C. Scott. Maybe not the masterclass that you'd expect to see, but definitely one which should be taught to all acting students as to how you're meant to take a movie which doesn't really have that many redeeming factors, to be perfectly honest, and drag it on your back and hoist it up right up to fucking Legoland. Because George Scott single-handedly hoists this fucking movie on his back like he's a Greek god, you know, carrying a rock or some shit, and he fucking goes for the gusto. I mean, it's definitely a tour de force performance. It could also be signs of a nervous breakdown, because to be honest, this is particularly intense acting for what looks like kind of a slapdash horror movie. As you probably work out, I'm not the most huge fan of this movie. I thought it was watchable, but I think if you move George Scott from the equation, then this shit has nothing going for it. Okay, you can say that George C. Scott delivers a performance of a lifetime. Maybe not his, but someone's lifetime, because he is really, 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 really good in this movie. But it jars with the rest of the movie, if you can understand what I'm saying, because he's single-handedly trying to perform a Herculean Olympian feat, you know. He's trying to make something that's okay much better than it should be, and he almost succeeds, but at the same time it's quite weird to watch, because normally when actors anchor a movie, you know, you get your all-time classic performances. The rest of the movie's reasonably good outside of that. This isn't particularly. Some of the acting in this, and it's not played by George C. Scott, is questionable at best. And when I say some of the acting, I of course mean the woman who does the medium in the first place. In the movie, they obviously have a scene where they visit a medium, have seance, and woman does that. I think she went too method, to be honest, because it's her blank expression made me wonder whether the director had fallen asleep in the middle of take and these actors were improvising, because that is some weird acting. Like, seriously, getting in character, I understand, but this is, like, not just getting in character, this is, like, it seems like she was actually fucking genuinely possessed, you know. I was talking to a mate while I was watching the movie and saying that, for a lot of it, I was wondering if the acting was acting or if the director fallen asleep, like I just said, and the actors would just try and make up shit, you know, because this movie doesn't seem so much directed as pushed out into the universe like a baby being born prematurely. In fact, this is quite a good description. This is a very premature movie. No, okay, weird. I'd say this movie's weirdest thing I've come up with most, because I understand what movie's going for, but it's kind of loosely, like, again, it's a structure thing where the end and beginning don't remesh. Like, clearly in this movie, George C. Scott's character is meant to have, like, this character arc where, like, he gets some sort of vengeance for his wife and kids, except he doesn't, because they're not really a factor in the end of the movie, except for a throwaway line. He's trying to get justice for another kid who he's never met, who he gets involved in a mystery and realises that some centre is a changeling or something, and uncovers some misty, mucky stuff going on, and then threatens to out the centre for it. And so, like, I was thinking, George C. Scott, this is none of your fucking business. Like, it's kind of it is a horror movie, but at the same time, it's a horror movie in terms of weird shit happening rather than horrifying shit happening. And I won't even go to town on Center's performance, because the last scene he has is really good, but scenes before that are just not. And then there's this haunted house shit, where it's like the haunted house stuff and Changeling stuff and all of that, like, it doesn't really match. And then the ghosts aren't evil, but then ghosts are evil because they burn down a house, but then they're not evil, but then they are, maybe they aren't, maybe they aren't. And there's a cop investigating who's going to crack the case, but then he dies off screen, like 5 minutes later. So it's one of those movies, really, where I think it's definitely anchored by a staggeringly good performance by George C. Scott. You just get James sort of like, what compares him to give that level of acting power, you know? Because it sure as shit wasn't the movie. I suppose you pick up a lot of things that would be fun to make fun of in this movie or make light of, but I mean, really, it's just sort of there. There's a few weird bits here and there, but I don't think continuously there's enough to really, like, do much with, to be honest, which is why this review might come in a little shorter than the other ones, because I don't know about The Last Driving. Maybe that guy managed to figure some comedy or something like that out of this movie. I couldn't really get much, you know. Apart from the medium, terrible acting, apart from the weird scene of the father drowning his boy in bathtub, like grabbing his legs and almost pile driving him into the fucking water. That's a weird way of killing your son. Not that there's a normal way of killing your son, but, you know, that seems quite a strange approach to take. I suppose you can say your father was in the midst of madness or something like that. But to grab the legs and try drowning boy that way, that's a bit strange. So what I give movie in terms of rating, I'd probably go for about 2.5. Like, not bad, not awful. George C. Scott carries movie on his back and does actually seriously come across like he's having breakdown on screen, which maybe he was, because this came out about the same time as that 8mm one he made, where he his character dived into the snuff industry. So maybe George C. Scott was like, fuck it, I've got all my money, I've made pattern, I've done my speeches, I got all my Oscar nominations, and maybe one Oscar, I don't know. And at this point he's like, fuck it, give me money. And he's earned the money, surely. I mean, you watch this and sort of like, he's earned money and his kids and grandkids have earned the money from all of this shit. But then something, you're too good for this movie, mate. You're too good for this genre. No haunted house, like, I don't know. So I can't say I was that big a fan of this movie, but it was an interesting experience, and George C. Scott having a breakdown was particularly fascinating to watch, and it does make one watch that 8mm or whatever the fuck movie he made. Anyway, let's figure out what we're going to watch tomorrow on ShudderMania, because at the moment I don't know. Oh, I do, yes. Tomorrow I'll be watching The Guest by Adam Wingard, which is Adam Wingard's. I like him, he's a good director. So, and I've seen it before, but it'll be interesting to see it again through fresh eyes. Anyway, to tomorrow, remember, life is beautiful.